For the next set of directions, we are going to write the equation of each line in slope-intercept form. So what I've done for you is I've written down what that slope-intercept form is. It's y equals mx plus b, where x is an input, y is an output to make an ordered pair, and m, well, we've seen that before, that's our slope. And so the slope changes x every time. It's the number that's being multiplied by x. It's called our coefficient. B represents the y-intercept. And so all we're going to do is we're going to take that form, that y equals mx plus b, and we're going to take the numbers that are given to us and substitute. So here it tells us our slope is 2. So we're going to put 2 in place of m. Here it tells us our y-intercept is negative 1. So we're going to put our y-intercept in place of b, and then just rewrite the equation. So our answer here would be y equals 2x minus 1, or plus negative 1, either way. So it could also be y equals 2x plus negative 1. And that would be our answer right there. And so either one of those would end up sufficing. Let's take a look at the next one. Here we have a fraction as the slope and a y-intercept that's positive this time. So again, here's our form for the slope-intercept form. So here I have y equals mx plus b. And so all you're going to do is take your slope, which is negative 1/2, and we're going to put that in place of m. We're going to take the positive 3, which is our y-intercept, put that in place of b, and rewrite our equation. So it's going to read y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. And that would be our answer. And so read the directions carefully. So when they ask us to write the equation, you're not graphing, you're just writing. And you're writing the equation in this slope-intercept form. And the reason that we do that is now that we've graphed equations using the slope and y-intercept, and now we've written equations in that form, so on the last set of directions, it's going to ask us to graph each equation using the slope-intercept form. So we know this first number right here represents our y-intercept, because that's what we did in the previous problem. We substituted the y-intercept for b. So that's our y-intercept. So that's where we're going to start the graph. Remember how I said always start at the y-intercept. And then we use the slope. So the slope of our graph is the number that's being multiplied by x. That's what we did here. We substituted the slope in for m. And so this slope represents 2 over 3. So that's going to tell us to go up 2 and right 3. Right 3 spaces. So we're going up 2 and then right 3 spaces. Up 2 and right 3 spaces. We could also go the other way. Remember, this also could be negative 2 over negative 3. And that would tell us the opposite direction. So that would tell us go down 2, left 3 spaces. Down 2, left 3 spaces. And then it gives us enough points to be able to draw a nice line through. And we'll go ahead and do that. So again, what we're doing is that second set of directions asks us to write in the form so that we understand that when we see an equation, we understand what is the y-intercept and what is the slope. So let's take a look at the next one here. We've got a new equation, y equals 2x plus 1. Well, remember, just as we did over here, we substitute the y-intercept in for b. So this 1 represents our y-intercept. So we're going to take that y-intercept and we're going to plot that point. And then we're going to use the slope. So remember, the slope is the number out in front of x. It's this number. And remember, if we have a slope that's not a fraction, we should write it as a fraction. So again, that's our slope. It tells us what to do in the y direction. It tells us to go up 2. Tells us what to do in the x direction. Tells us to go right 1 because it's a positive. Both are positive. So we're going up 2, right 1. And we can do that a bunch of times to make a line. We could also go the other direction, because a negative over a negative makes a positive. And again, that would tell us to go down and then to the left. So down 2, left 1. Down 2, left 1. Then we have enough points to be able to draw a line. So again, we have to have that starting point, that y-intercept, and then from there we can use that slope to be able to come up with the other points. Well, we have one other problem that's a little bit more difficult, because on this one we don't have it in the form. We don't have y by itself. So we always have to isolate this y. So I need to move this 1/2 x back to the other side. Always want to get y by itself for this form. So now once I've done that, I can go ahead and rewrite this as y equals negative 1/2 x. So here I should have minus 1/2 x. I put a minus right there, so I need to just have one minus sign here. So minus, I'm adding negatives here, so it's minus 1/2 x and then plus 2. So I subtracted 1/2 x from both sides, or add the opposite means the same thing. So now what I have is an equation in the slope-intercept form. So I can get the y-intercept. I can plot that point. That's my y-intercept. And so I'm going to go up 2 spaces on the y-axis, put a dot, and then use the slope. So remember, the slope of this line is the number that's being multiplied by the x term. In this case, negative 1 over 2. So that tells me I'm going down 1 space, but then over 2 to the right, because it's positive 2. So I'm going down and then to the right. And I can do that a few times. And then also go the other way. I could also go up and then to the left, because up and the left are the same, gives me the same sign. Up 1, left 2. And then from there I can go ahead and plot that, or draw the line between those points. So on your homework tonight, you're going to have 2 problems in which you need to graph the equation given the line. One will look like a and b, the other will look like c. Make sure you move that x term over by doing an opposite operation. So here I subtracted 1/2 x from both sides, so here I subtracted 1/2 x from both sides.